up mga kaugat?
Yun, nandito tayo ngayon para mag-solve ng isang marami example ng symmetrical parabolic curves. Tara na, let's go!
2,000 years later.
What's up guys? Hello. Welcome back sa aking vlog. Yun. Para sa ngayong araw na to, magsusolve tayo ng symmetrical parabolic curve. Naka-assign tayo na mag-solve ng tatlong example. Bago tayo magsimula, ano bang totoong definisyon ng symmetrical curve?
So, hello guys, this is the first vertical parabolic curve we discussed. It is a symmetrical curve or symmetrical vertical parabolic curve. What is vertical curve? Vertical curves are used to provide gradual change between two adjacent grade lines. The curve used to connect the two adjacent grades is parabola. Parabola offers smooth transition because its second derivative is constant. So yun, ginagamit siya sa mga road construction, yung curve na vertical curve para sa mga smooth transition, para nakaiwas sa aksidente, dahil parabola nga ay nag-o-offer ng smooth transition. So next, what is symmetrical parabolic curve? Symmetrical parabolic curve does not mean the curve is symmetrical at L/2. It simply means that the curve is made up of single vertical parabolic curve. Yan, ibig sabihin nun, yung symmetrical parabolic curve, ano siya mismo, single vertical parabolic curve. Tapos pag naging dalawa na yung parabolic curve, it is called unsymmetrical.
Oh my God! Wow!
So guys, mapapansin natin sa elements ng vertical curve, yung L sub 2 ay parehas lang. Yung L, pag natin yung L, yun na yung L sub 2 natin. Para sa grades natin, pag susulat na natin siya, hindi dapat naka-percent. Tapos dapat naka-decimal. So yung summit, yan yung highest point ng curve. Tapos pag sasag naman, yun yung lowest point. Hanapin natin. So next naman yung mga examples.
Para sa mga examples, dito yung tatlong examples natin nakahanda. So, for the example number 1, a summit curve has slopes of 6% and negative 4% intersecting at PI. The offset distance from the PI to the curve is 2 meters. Determine the following: A. Length of curve. B. The location of the highest point from PI. So for our first example, we are given a grade of 6% for our back tangent, and for our forward tangent, negative 4%. So we are also given a offset distance. So our H is equals to 2.0 meters or 2 meters. We need to find first our A, length ng curve, our length, and B, our highest location of our highest point. Location. So first, our L, we need to use our formula for a summit curve. H equals to L over 8. G sub 1 minus G sub 2. So 2.0 plus L over 8. Our G sub 1 is 0.06 minus times minus, so magiging positive 0.04. So we know our L. We need to compute. So for our L, there's no sheet solve for ginagamit kong calculus, walang sheet solve, so ganito yung ginagawa ko. 2.0 divided by 1 over 8 0.06 plus 0.04. So, yun yung sagot, 160. So, our L is 160 meters. And that's our A. So, we can now proceed for our B, for the location of our highest summit curve. So, from this, 160 meters. So, this L over 2 is 80. And this is also 80. So, our S, from PC, we need to use this formula. So, S equals to G sub 1 L D sub 1 minus G sub 2. So, S 0.06 times our L 160 over 0.06 minus times negative 4, so magiging positive 0.04. So we can get our S, or our location of our highest point. So our S 0.06 times 160 over 0.06 plus 0.04, so 96 meters from PC. But from our question, we need to find the highest point from PI. And from PI. So we need from PI. So from PI, 96. So 96 meters minus RS from PI. 96 minus 80 meters. Because this is 80. So, kailangan natin mahanap ito. Ang distance na simula sa PI hanggang dito. Ito. Kailangan natin mahanap. So, S 96 minus 80 is 16, I guess. 16. So, our location from PI is 16 meters from PI. So, this is our final answer. For the second example, a grade line AB having a slope of 6% intersect another grade line BC having a slope of negative 3% at B. Determine the elevation and station of the summit of the 200-meter parabolic vertical curve to connect the grade lines. Yun, hanapin daw yung elevation tsaka station ng summit o yung highest point ng curve. Yun, A is at PC with a station of 5 plus 200 and an elevation of 100 meter. So for our number 2, we need to find the elevation and stationing of the summit or the highest point of our curve. So first, we need to find the highest point. So from PC, so S, from PC, we need to use this. So G sub 1 times L over G sub 1 minus G sub 2. So our S 0.06. Hey, I forgot. This is 0.6. 6% grade, and this is negative 3% grade. And this we already given our L or our length of our curve, 200 meters. And this is our L over 2, 100 meters. So our 0.06 G sub 1 times 200 over 0.06 minus, so minus 93 plus 0.03. So our S, or highest point for our summit curve, 0.06 times 200 over 0.06 plus 0.03. So 133.33. So 133.333 meters. So we can calculate the station of our highest curve. So this is 133.33. So the remaining, so 133.333 minus 100 is 303.33. That's our from our highest point to PC. So right from PI 333 from PI. Sorry, I forgot. So we can calculate the station of highest point. Stationing ng highest point plus equals to stationing ng PC. Minus plus S over S sub 1 over S. So we already given the stationing of PC. 5 plus 200. 5 plus 200. So for our stationing HP, this point 5 plus 200 and our S is plus 133.333. So for number 1, for our stationing at HP, 5,200 plus 133.33. 5,353 is for our station. For the highest point, this is our station, 0.333. That's our number 1. So for our number 2, for the elevation at highest point. So the formula is elevation of HP equals to LF of PC plus power H sub 1. This H sub 1. H sub 1. Yes, H sub 1. That's our H sub 1 plus elevation ng PC natin. So, pag pinas yan, nakuha natin yung elevation ng HP. So, elevation ng highest point, we are given 100 meters na elevation. So, 100 meters plus, we need to find out H sub 1. So, H sub 1 equals to 1 half of our G sub 1 power grade and our S sub 1. So, 1 half of our 0.06 times our S sub 1, 133. So our H sub 1 is 1 half of our 0.06, 133.333, 3.999. So 100 plus 3.999. So we put our elevation, our highest point of our summit. So 100 plus 3.999. So 103.999 meters. Don't forget our sign. So that's all for our 1 and for our example number 2.
A few moments later.
For the last example, or the number 3 example, a vertical symmetrical sag curve has a descending grade of negative 4%, 4.2%, and an ascending grade of 3%, intersecting at station 10 plus 020, whose elevation is 100 meter. Two grade lines are connected by a 260 meter. Determine the following. At what distance from PC is the lowest point of the curve? B. What is the vertical offset of the parabolic curve to the point of intersection of the tangent grades?
2 hours later.
So next, I already drawn a sag curve for our example number 3. Next we label it. So we also given a 260 meters for our L, 260 meters. So our L sub 2 is 130. L over 2, 150 meters. And we already have a station at PI, station 10 plus 020, and having a elevation of 100 meters. So we need to find the distance from the PC of the lowest point of the curve. So hanapin natin yung lowest point ng ating curve. So una, para makuha yun, kuha tayo sa formula na to. From PC, itong from PC natin, S equals to G sub 1 times L over G sub 1 minus G sub 2. So makuha natin S. So yung G sub 1 natin na negative 0.042 times 260 over negative 0.042 minus ating G sub 2 na 3%, 0.02. So yung value ng ating S ay negative 0.042 times 260 over negative 0.042 minus 0.03. So our S is 151.667 meters. So yes, this is our number 1. So for our number 2, we need to find the vertical offset or our H. This our vertical offset. So we look our formula H. So it is a sag curve, so we need to use this, not this. It is for the sum of this. So H equals to L over A, G sub 2 minus G sub 1. So H equals to L over 260 over A over G sub 2 is 0.03. So minus magiging positive. So plus 0.042. So we already know our H or our offset of our offset, vertical offset. So 260 over 8, 0.03 plus 0.042. So our H is 2.34 meters. 2.34 meters. And that's our number.
아침을 깨우는 네 목소리 머리를 빗는 네 빗소리 밖엔 비가 오나 봐 들리는 빗방울들이 땅에 떨어지는 소리 전해지는 정신고 대체 뭐야 너는 비법이 아침에 일어나서 부은 눈이 너무 아름다운 너희들로 조금만 더 무했길 바래 조금만.
What's up mga kaugat?
Hold up.
So my name is Rowel B and welcome sa part 2 ng ating vlog, which is about parabolic unsymmetrical curve. So ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba ng parabolic symmetrical curve sa parabolic unsymmetrical curve? Symmetrical parabolic curve does not necessarily mean na symmetrical yung curve at L over 2. It simply means that the curve is made of single vertical parabolic curve. Then, using two or more parabolic curves placed adjacent to each other, then it will be called unsymmetrical parabolic curve. So, in symmetrical curve, the L sub 1 and the L sub 2 are equal, while in a symmetrical curve, the L sub 1 can be greater than L sub 2 or the L sub 2 can be greater than L sub 1.
A few inches later.
So, let's now proceed sa ating problem solving.
Okay.
An unsymmetrical curve has a forward tangent of negative 8% and back tangent of positive 5%. The length of curve on the left side of the curve is 40 meters long while that of the right side is 60 meters long. The PC is at station 6 plus 780 and has an elevation of 110 meters. An outcrop is found at station 6 plus 800 and has an elevation of 108.40 meters. Number 1. Compute the elevation at P And number 2, compute the height of fill needed to cover the outcrop. So, ano nga ba yung outcrop? Sabi ni Google, an outcrop is a rock formation that is visible on the surface. So, share ko lang guys yung ano yung natutunan ko sa my work immersion ko dito sa may Island High, sa may Kogyo. So, yung company na yun is nakafocus sila sa land developing. So, kapag nakaka-encounter sila ng mga mababatong terrain na kailangan nila gawing kalsada is binubuhusan nila ng soil kapag masyado daw minamadali yung pag minamadali na.
Oh my God! Wow!
Okay. So yun. Then kapag naman konti lang or ilan lang yung ano is hinuhukay nila or tinitik-tik minsan. Tinitik-tik means parang ano, parang hinuhukay or sinisinsel. Parang gano'n, basta yun. So here is our figure for problem number 1. So sa problem number 1, given tayo ng positive 5% na grade at negative 8% na grade. So at station PC, meron daw tayong 6 plus 780 and it has an elevation of 110 meters. And then at station A, meron tayong 6 plus 800. So therefore, ang distance natin from PC to point A is 20 meters. Kasi 800 minus 780 is equals to 20. Then, ang L sub 1 daw natin is 40 from left and 60 from right. Meters yan. And meron tayong outcrop dito which has an elevation of 108.40. So, yun lang ating given. So, in order to get the length of this side, we need to multiply our L sub 2 to the difference of our G sub 1 and G sub 2. So, kung mapapansin nyo sa ating figure, meron tayong given na grades and L sub 1 and L sub 2. So, therefore, we could get the value of our H using this formula. So, 2H all over L sub 1 is equals to L sub 2 multiplied by G sub 1 minus G sub 2 all over L sub 1 plus L sub 2. So by manipulating the formula, we came up with H is equals to L sub 1, L sub 2 multiplied by G sub 1 minus G sub 2 all over 2 times L sub 1 plus L sub 2. So next is substituting the value of the following. So H is equals to 40 times 60 multiplied by 0.05 minus 0.08 okay, all over 2 times our L sub 1 which is 40, L sub 2, 60. And then, kapag binisa sa value, magiging sagot is 1.56. So, meron na tayong value ng H. So, since meron na tayong value ng H, pwede na natin makuha yung ating Y sub 1. So, H over 40 squared equals to Y sub 1 all over 20 squared. Since meron na tayong value ng H, so meron tayong Y sub 1 is equals to 1.56, which is our H multiplied by 20 squared all over 40 squared. Therefore, our Y sub 1 is 0.39. And meron na tayong Y sub 1. Since meron na tayong Y sub 1, pwede na natin kunin yung elevation of B. Therefore, elevation of B is equals to 110 plus 0.05 multiplied by 20 minus our y sub 1, which is 0.39. Therefore, our elevation at P is 110.61 meter. So, yan ang ating elevation at P. So, sabi sa ating condition number 2, which is ano daw yung height of field needed to cover the outcrop. So, kapag zoom in natin ito, yung kakalabasan. So, nakuha na natin yung ating elevation at point P, which is 110.61. And the elevation of the outcrop is 108.40 meters. So, in order to get the height or the film needed to cover this outcrop, we need to subtract the elevation at B to the elevation of the outcrop. So, height of film needed is equals to 110.61 minus 108.40. Therefore, it is equals to 2.21 meters. So, ito yung height ng field na needed. So, that is our problem number 1.
Nice.
B sub 1 station 12 plus 200 and elevation 30 meter. It is required to connect the two tangents with an unsymmetrical vertical parabolic curve 160 meters on the side of the back tangent and 120 meters on the side of the forward tangent. The curve must provide a vertical clearance of at least 4.42 meters above the right curve of an underpass, the stationing which is 12 plus 260. Knowing that G sub 1 is equals to positive 7% and G sub 2 is equals to negative 4%. Number 1, determine the elevation of the curve. Number 2, determine the elevation at A. So ano nga ba yung tinatawag natin na curve? So sabi ni Google, ang curve daw ay stone or concrete edging to a street or a flat. So makikita nyo sa pictures, yung part na pinipinturahan ng DPWH is ayan yung tinatawag natin na curve. So this is our figure for our problem number 2, which is a summit curve. Since ang grade natin is from positive to negative. Kaya ganito. So sabi ang G sub 1 natin is sa positive 7%. And ang G sub 2 is negative 4%. And meron daw tayong at B sub 1 station, meron tayong 12 plus 200 with an elevation of 30 meters. And then, meron lang tayong distance here at the back tangent, which is 160 meters. And the forward tangent has 120 meters. So here meron tayong height na given, which is 4.42. And our curve is at station 12 plus 260, which is dito. So since ito ay 120, so therefore ito ay 60 meters and this is 60 meters also. Kailangan natin compute yung side na to. So 120 multiplied by 0.07 rather. So this will be 8.4 meters and this part is 120 multiplied by 0.04. Therefore it is equals to 4.8 meters. Therefore it is 13.2 meters in total. Pwede nyo namang diretsuhin na lang. Same lang din naman lalabas. 0.11 multiplied by 120 is equals to 13.2 pa rin. Ayun, compute ulit tayo ng H. So, using this formula, 2H so for L sub 1 is equals to G sub 1 minus G sub 2 multiplied by L sub 2 all over L sub 1 plus L sub 2. Then, 2H is equals to 160 is equals to, nakuha natin 13.2 all over L sub 1 plus L sub 2 is equals to 280. Therefore, ang ating H is equals to 3.77 meters. So, yan ang ating H. So, ngayon, kukunin naman natin yung ating Y using the squared property of parabola. So, meron tayong y sub 1 over 60 squared is equals to h multiplied by 120 squared. Since meron na tayong h, so ang y sub 1 natin is equals to 3.77 multiplied by 60 squared over 120 squared. And y sub 1 is equals to 0.94. So, kagaya ng problem number 1, pwede na natin makuha yung ating elevation at B since nakuha na natin yung y sub 1 natin. So, elevation at B, elevation of B is equals to 30 minus 60 multiplied by 0.04 minus 0.94. So, elevation at B is equals to 26.66 meters. So, saan galing yung 30? So, dito po galing yung 30 natin. So, next na makukuha na natin is yung elevation ng curve. So, para makuha yung elevation ng curve, kailangan lang natin gawin is subtract yung elevation at B dun sa ating height minus 4.42. So therefore, ang ating elevation of the curve dito, curve pala dapat, not curve, curve. So elevation of the curve is 22.24 meters. Ayan ang ating condition number 1. So, for number 2, determine the elevation at A. So, yun, napakadali lang nun. So, in order to determine the elevation at A, so, yung next na kailangan natin hanapin is yung elevation of A. So, elevation of A is equals to, ito yung A natin. So, it's to 30 minus our grade, which is our slope, 0.04 multiplied by 60. Therefore, our elevation at A is equals to 37.6 meters. So, ayan ang ating problem number 2.
Ang galing! Ang galing!
A negative 3% grade meets a positive 5% grade near another pass in order to maintain the minimum clearance allowed under the bridge and at the same time introduce a vertical transition curve in the grade line. It is necessary to use a curve that lies 200 meters on one side of the vertex of the straight grade and 100 meters on the other. The station of the beginning of the curve, 200 meters side, is 10 plus 0, 0, 0 and each elevation is 228 meters. Number 1. Determine the elevation at station 10 plus 0, 40. And number 2. If the uphill edge of the underside of the bridge is at station 10 plus 220 and at elevation 229.206 meters, what is the vertical clearance under the bridge at this point? So ano nga ba yung tinatawag natin na vertical clearance? According to Google, vertical clearance means the minimum specified height of the bridge or overhead projections about the roadway. So, commonly makikita natin to sa mga establishment, especially sa mga malls. So, applicable din yung vertical clearance sa mga poste ng kuryente kung saan makikita nyo yung mga wires. And commonly, ang minimum vertical clearance natin is 10 feet from the ground.
Okay.
So, this is our figure for problem number 3. So, sabi sa problem natin, meron daw tayong grade or slope na 3% and 5%. So, yung distance daw natin sa side nito is 200 meters. And the other side is 100 meters. Then, meron at ang station PC daw natin is 10,000. 10,000. And at it has an elevation of 228 meters. So considering A as station, 10 plus 0, 40. Therefore, ang distance nito is 40 meters. So next is kunin natin yung side na ito. So 100 multiplied by 0.03 plus 0.05, and it is equals to 8. Since ang una natin kinukuha is the elevation at this point per station, huwag muna natin consider this bridge. So pwede na natin kunin ang ating h. So 8 over 300 is equals to 2h over L sub 1, which is 200. Therefore, our h is equals to 2.67 meters. And by applying the squared property of parabola, makukuha na natin yung bali ng ating y sub 1. So 2.67 over 200 squared. Therefore, our y sub 1 is equals to 0.107. And then, pwede na natin makuha yung elevation natin at 10 plus 0.40. So, elevation of station 10 plus 0.40 is equals to 228 meters minus 0.03 multiplied by 40 meters plus 0.107. Therefore, our elevation at station 10 plus 0.40 is equals to 226.907 meters. So, ayan ang ating number 1. So, sabi sa number 2, station PI natin is 10 plus 220. And meron daw, elevation daw is, ng ating bridge is 229.206 meters. So since this is 200 and this is 220, therefore this part of the bridge is 20 meters. Therefore 100 minus 20 is equals to 80 meters. Since nakuha na natin yung h natin, pwede na tayo dumiretso sa pagkuha ng ating y sub 2. So by applying the squared property of parabola, we came up with this one. Y sub 2 over 80 squared is equals to h over 100 squared. Therefore, y sub 2 is equals to 2.67 over 80 squared divided by 100 squared. Therefore, y sub 2 is equals to 1.71 meters. So, y sub 2 pala yung nakukuha na natin. Kung mapapansin natin sa ating figure, wala tayong elevation at PI, wala tayong elevation at C, at elevation sa D. So, yun muna yung kukunin natin para makuha yung vertical clearance. So, dito na lang. So, elevation of PI is equals to elevation ng PC, which is 228 minus or ano sa buwan 200 multiplied by 0.03. Therefore, elevation of PI is equals to 222 meters. So, meron na tayong PI. Next natin is elevation of C, which is equals to 222 meters plus, since pataas to, kaya 0.05 multiplied by 20. Elevation of C is equals to 223 meters. Then, next is elevation at D. Is equals to 223 plus yung nakuha nating y sub 2, which is 1.71. Therefore, it is equals to 224.9 71 meters. So, ayun, pwede na natin makuha ang ating vertical clearance, which is vertical clearance is equals to 229.206 minus elevation at T, which is 224.71. Therefore, ang ating vertical clearance is equals to 4.496 meters. So, ayan ang ating problem number 3. So, that's all for this video. Stay safe and thank you for watching.
This is the last part of our vlog. Keep safe, God bless, and stay hydrated.
Baby, please don't kill my vibe.